Hi, I'm Jay.
And I'm John.
And we're Bucket List Travellers.
And in this video, we're going to share our experience of crossing the border from Nicaragua to Costa Rica.
In this video, we'll walk you through the entire process of crossing the border from Nicaragua to Costa Rica from start to end. This video has chapters, so you can skip ahead or return to a section if you need to. We'll be covering the C4 90-day visa and getting visa extensions in Nicaragua, entry requirements for Costa Rica, entry requirements for Nicaragua, exit fees for Nicaragua, locations of the Nicaragua-Costa Rica land border crossings, how to get to the San Pancho border crossing, and our experience of crossing the border at San Pancho, Nicaragua.
We came to Nicaragua in March 2020 as part of a year-long trip around the world. For 18 months we lived in Nicaragua and immersed ourselves in this beautiful country. We were on the C4 90-day visa, but due to limited flights out of the country in 2020 and the land border to Costa Rica being closed between March 2020 and April 2021, we were able to keep extending our visas every 30 days. Visa extensions can be done at the immigration office in most major cities in Nicaragua. As of September 2021, a 30-day visa extension costs $25 plus 5 Cordobas for the form and 50 Cordobas to send your passport to the head office in Managua for processing. In July 2021, we were given our final visa extension and told to leave the country in the next 30 days. We waited until the last possible day to leave Nicaragua, and on August 22, 2021, we finally crossed the border from Nicaragua to Costa Rica.
In normal times, tourists on the C4 90-day visa are permitted entry to the 4 countries, Nicaragua, Guatemala, El Salvador and Honduras, for a period of 90 days, with the potential for 30-day visa extensions up to a maximum of 90 additional days. It is reasonably common for perpetual tourists to do border runs between Nicaragua and Costa Rica every 90 days in order to reset their 90-day visas. Technically, you're supposed to leave Nicaragua for at least 3 days in order to get another 90-day visa, but we've heard of people crossing the border and then returning on the same day.
We're doing a border crossing that's a little bit different to what most people do. So the main border crossing's at Penas Blancas. This one's at San Pancho, which is on the far side of Lake Nicaragua.
The San Pancho border crossing is in the southeast of Nicaragua in the department of Rio San Juan. The town of San Carlos is the gateway to San Pancho. There used to also be ferries from Granada to San Carlos via Ometepe Island, but these have been suspended due to low water levels in Lake Nicaragua. From San Carlos there are buses to San Pancho, and there are even boats that you can catch down the Rio Frio to the border. We decided to spend a few days at El Castillo on Rio San Juan before doing the border crossing. So we took a ferry to the Santa Fe Bridge and then a microbus from there to the border crossing at San Pancho.
So it's 4:15. We've just woken up here in El Castillo and we're going to walk over to the ferry terminal soon to catch the 5 o'clock launcher to Santa Fe. So fingers crossed it all goes smoothly. We got here just in time to see the Lancha arrive at 20 to 5, and this boat's final destination is San Carlos, which it will arrive at about 20 to 8. But we're getting off at the stop closest to the Costa Rican border, which is Santa Fe.
Well, it's about 2 hours into the trip now. We've probably got another 20 minutes till we get to the Santa Fe port. It's been a really pleasant trip.
It's 20 past 7 and we've just arrived at Punta Santa Fe, so we're going to make our way to Los Chiles.
When preparing for the border crossing, it is important to understand the entry and exit requirements for each country. The information we have is accurate as at September 2021, but the situation is constantly evolving, so be sure to look up the current requirements if you're planning this trip yourself.
Okay, we're just about to catch the bus at the Puente. We've just gotten on a microbus to get us to the border. Now, as soon as we got to the other side of the bridge, we had to all get off the bus so that we could go through a checkpoint. Someone was telling us to go to the other side of the bridge, and now we know why. We've officially left Nicaragua, so very happy to have spent our time there, but sad to have left. After getting out of the microbus at San Pacho, we were greeted with hundreds of people waiting to get in at the border. So after waiting in line for a few minutes, we realized that we were actually in the wrong line, and thankfully we wouldn't have to wait hours. We were able to get into the air-conditioned building and we were processed pretty quickly. We were like second or third in line. The area is pretty new, it's a work in progress, so there's a lot of construction around. You're walking through mud to get there. The building itself is really new. It's a big white tin shed. It's got 8 counters of immigration officials processing exits. There's also a table of immigration officials that are processing entry to Nicaragua. We had to pay $3 US each to get our exit stamps, and then we were sent on our way. So it was a relatively painless process, so long as you know which line to get in. We've heard there's an additional $1 US fee at the Peñas Blancas exit. When crossing the border from Nicaragua to Costa Rica, it's handy to have the exact change in US dollars. If you're considering doing the border crossing from Costa Rica into Nicaragua, the entry requirements for Nicaragua are that you need to have had a negative COVID PCR test taken less than 72 hours before entry, and the entry fee to Nicaragua is $12 US. There will also be an exit fee from Costa Rica of $8 US. So now we're in no man's land in between Nicaragua and Costa Rica, and we're about to head to the Costa Rican Immigration Office, so let's see you on the other side.
As of September 2021, the entry requirements for Costa Rica were as follows. If you are fully vaccinated at least 14 days prior to entry, you need to have full proof of vaccination with one of the approved vaccines. If you don't meet the vaccine requirements and are aged 18 years or older, you will need to purchase valid health insurance. The health insurance must cover hospitalisation and quarantine in the event that you contract COVID. You will also need a letter from your insurer confirming that you have purchased the insurance and that it complies with Costa Rica's insurance requirements. After a lot of research, we went with Trawick International's Safe Travels International Cost Saver. Here's how the costs compared against each of the Costa Rica providers for the two of us for 90 days of coverage. We've provided a link to Trawick International in our description for you.
Regardless of whether you're vaccinated or unvaccinated, you will need to fill out an online health pass within 72 hours before you enter Costa Rica. For those that are vaccinated, you'll need to upload confirmation of your vaccinations, and for the unvaccinated, you'll need to upload a letter from your insurer confirming that you have insurance that covers the requirements for Costa Rica. Once you've filled out this health pass, you'll receive a QR code, which is a type of digital barcode that will be scanned by the border official in Costa Rica before you're allowed entry into Costa Rica. We recommend printing out the QR code as well as having a copy of it on your phone. For us, the QR code on our phone was sufficient, but we've heard that if you're travelling to Costa Rica with a bus company such as Ticabus, they might require you to have a printed copy.
In addition to the online health pass, there are also standard Costa Rica entry requirements that you need to be aware of.
Once you're through the Costa Rica border, you only have a 2-minute walk to a bus station, with regular buses travelling to Los Chiles and Ciudad Quesada. Now we're on a bus to Los Chiles, and the bus fare was $5.50 colones for the two of us.
So the Costa Rica side of immigration was relatively painless. We were basically the only people there. We gave them the required health documents, stamped our passports, and away we went. It was all done in about 10 minutes.
We hope you found this video about the San Pancho, Nicaragua to Costa Rica border crossing helpful. If you did, please give it a like and leave a comment. If you want more Central America travel tips and ideas, then make sure you subscribe.
We are Bucket List Travellers.
See you next time.